Alrighty, folks, we are now 6-0 in our last 6 extra daily picks on my premium page. And it is Wednesday, August 13th, 2025. Happy Wednesday to you. Happy hump day to you. Weekend's right around the corner. We are halfway there. Of course, if you're joining me for the first time here today, my name is Brock Page. I've been dishing out free sports picks on YouTube since 2016. And once again, folks, we are 6-0 in our last 6 extra daily picks. We had the Mets money line yesterday, and they pretty much blasted the Braves by the final of 13-5. And the good news is I've got another extra daily pick going off here today for Wednesday. That play is already posted and ready for access in the post section. And if you sign up for my extra daily pick here today, you're going to get access to that membership every single day for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, you're also going to get access to my daily best play every single day during that time frame, absolutely free. Going to be included with your membership. Of course, if you want to access all of my premium plays, I'll actually tell you how to do that at the end of the video. I also have plenty of free content on my premium page as well. That includes my current overall win-loss record. You can access that right now in the post section. You do not have to pay anything to take a look at that. Just go to the post section and scroll down until you find it. Now, folks, real quick, we are 9-1 in our last 10 chairman plays, 63% in our last 16 WNBA tier package picks. And finally, folks, once again, we are 6-0 in our last 6 extra daily picks. And the good news is I've got plays going off in all of those packages here today. And they're all included with your Gold Club membership. Folks, I have nearly 2,700 members who are signed up and active on the premium page as of right now. With that, folks, we're going to jump into some free content. Going to start off with the Tigers at the White Sox. 2:10 Eastern first pitch. Detroit's minus 130. Totals 8.5. Troy Melton for the Tigers. Shane Smith for Chicago. Now Smith is just 3-7 with an ERA in the 4s. Chicago playing some really poor baseball over the past few weeks. They actually took the loss in 7 out of their last 9 games. Definitely having some control issues on the mound. The White Sox walk more batters a game than any other team besides the Angels. Bottom 5 in strikeouts per contest. And they're facing a Detroit lineup who typically has little issues rounding the base pass. They're in the top 10 in runs per game. Riley Green, 27 homers, 87 RBIs. Spencer Torkelson, 26 homers, OPS in the 800s. Tiger games went 8-2 to the over in their last 10. 6 out of Chicago's last 10 got over the total themselves. I like the Tigers minus 130, over 8.5. Pirates Brewers 2:10 Eastern start. Milwaukee's minus 225, totals 8. Brandon Woodruff for the Brewers. Mitch Keller for Pittsburgh. Keller's just 5-10 on the year, not getting a ton of run support. As a matter of fact, the Bucks are averaging just 3.2 runs a game on the road, bottom 3 in hits per game in their travels. And they're facing a Brewers staff who's definitely been tough to hit against at American Family Field. They're in the top 3 in fewest runs allowed in their own building. And we could see more of the same with Brandon Woodruff on the hill. 4-0 record, ERA of 2.29. The righty's got 45 punch-outs in 35-plus innings of work. Very good whip of just .65. Now, total-wise, the Pirates have seen plenty of unders in their divisional games. And as a matter of fact, the under cashed in 73% of their road games against NL Central opponents. Give me the Brewers minus 1.5, under 8. Nationals Royals 2:10 Eastern start. KC's minus 180, totals 9. Seth Lugo for the Royals. Jake Irvin for Washington. Now, Irvin's got 8 wins on the year and a winning record. Actually, 91 punch-outs here for the righty. And they're facing a Kansas City squad who's had all kinds of problems producing runs at Kauffman Stadium. They're averaging just 3.2 runs a game in front of their home crowd. Dead last in walks per contest in their own building. No real surprise, the under cashed in 60% of the Royals contests on their own diamond. 60% to the under in their last 10 head-to-head meetings with Washington as well. So if you're into historical trends, plenty of unders to go around. I like the Nationals plus 1.5, under 9. Rockies, Cardinals, 215 East. St. Louis is minus 220, totals 9 runs. Michael McGreevy for the Cardinals, Austin Gomber for Colorado. Now, Gomber's still in search of his first win of 2025. He's 0-6 coming into today's matchup. Really not getting a ton of run support. The Rockies average just 6.9 hits a game on the road. Dead last in runs per game while traveling. And they're going up against a Cardinal pitching staff who's had excellent command collectively. They're actually walking fewer batters a game than any other team. And starting pitcher Michael McGreevy comes into today's matchup with just 2 losses on the year. It's a 4-2 record with a whip of 1.22. Of course, 4 out of St. Louis's last 5 home games did stay under the total. 60% to the under in their last 10 at any location. I like the Cardinals minus 1.5, under 9. Diamondbacks, Rangers, 235 East. Texas is $1.40, totals 9. Merrill Kelly for the Rangers, Zach Gallen for Arizona. Now, Gallen's just 1 win shy of double digits for the season, 130 strikeouts. Of course, as a team, the D-backs have played some pretty good baseball over the past few weeks. Winners of 7 out of their last 10. And they're facing a Ranger team who's definitely struggled over the past week or so. Losers of 5 out of their last 6. Definitely not hitting it well at Globe Life Park this year. They're actually averaging just 3.8 runs a game in their own ballpark. Bottom 5 in hits per contest at home. Now, 3 out of the Rangers' last 5 home games did stay under the total. 66% to the under in all of their contests at Kauffman Stadium. I like the Diamondbacks plus $1.20, under 9. Padres, Giants, 345 East. San Diego's $1.65, totals 8.5. Nick Pivetta for the Padres, Kai-Wei Tang for San Francisco. And through a couple of appearances, the righty Tang is averaging a strikeout an inning. He currently has a 1.32 whip. Of course, as a staff, the Giants have definitely thrown well at Oracle Park. They're limiting opposing sluggers to just 3.9 runs a game in their own stadium. They're facing a Padres squad who's definitely struggled at the plate on the road. Padres are a bottom 5 run-scoring team in their travels. And no real surprise, the Padres do have a losing record on the road. Now, 4 out of the Padres' last 5 away from home did stay under the total. Giants with unders in their last 5 straight on their own diamond. Give me the Giants plus 1.5, under 8.5 runs. Phillies, Reds, 510 East. Philadelphia's minus 135, totals 9. Christopher Sanchez for the Phils, Hunter Green for Cincinnati. And as good as Green's been, the Reds have dropped 4 out of their last 7. Definitely having a tough time with these Philly arms. They're averaging just 6.7 hits a game in their last 10 head-to-head meetings. So if you're into historical trends, certainly want to think about that one there. As far as this season's concerned, the Reds have had all kinds of problems making contact with the baseball. They're in the bottom 10 in strikeouts per game in the box, and they're facing a Philly pitching staff who's been tough to hit against away from the bank. They're giving up only 3.4 runs a game on the road. They're amongst the league leaders in strikeouts per 9 away from home. They have an 11-3 Christopher Sanchez on the hill, ERA of 2.36, 151 strikeouts. Now, Philly games went 7-3 the under in their last 10. Cincinnati with unders in 8 out of their last 10 themselves. I like the Phillies minus 135, under 9. Mariners, Orioles, 635 East. Seattle's minus 145, totals 8. Logan Gilbert for the M's, Trevor Rogers for Baltimore. And despite some really good numbers out of Rogers, the O's have been pretty brutal over the past several weeks. 3-7 straight up in their last 10, losing record on their own diamond. And if Seattle gets to this Baltimore bullpen early, it could mean trouble. The O's allow nearly double-digit hits a game at Camden Yards. And they're facing a Seattle club who continues to hit well on the road. They're averaging over 9.4 hits a game in their travels. Top 3 in runs per contest away from home. Cal Raleigh, 45 homers, 98 RBI, leads the league in both of those categories. Josh Naylor with an OPS in the 900s with his new ball club. Of course, 6 out of Seattle's last 10 contests did get over the total. I like the Mariners minus 145, over 8. Marlins Guardians 640 East, Cleveland's $1.35, totals 8. Gavin Williams for the Guardians, Yuri Perez for Miami. Now Perez has an ERA of 3.25, WHIP of 1.01. Of course, as a team, the Marlins do have a winning record against American League opponents. And they're facing a Cleveland squad who's actually got a losing record in their interleague games, all kinds of struggles at the plate. The Guardians are a bottom 5 run-scoring team, actually just 7.5 hits per contest. They average at the plate. 7 out of the Guardians' last 10 meetings with Miami did stay under the total. Once again, if you're into historical trends, plenty of unders to go around. Of course, Marlins games went 4-2 to the under in their last 6 on the road. I like the Marlins plus 105, under 8. Twins Yankees 705 East, New York's $1.30, totals 9. Cam Schlittler for the Yankees, Joe Ryan for Minnesota. And even though Ryan's had some really good showings, the Twins did take the loss in 3 out of their last 4 as a team. .387 win percentage in their travels. And in their last 10 meetings with the Bombers, they've really struggled with New York pitching. Twins averaged just 2.7 runs a game during that time frame. And we should see more of the same here today. The Yankees have been tough to hit against in the Bronx. They're allowing just 7.2 hits a game in front of their home crowd. And starting pitcher Cam Schlittler is averaging a strikeout an inning after a handful of appearances. Of course, the Yankees saw 65% of their home games against American League opponents stay under the total. I like the Yankees minus 130, under 9. Cubs, Blue Jays, 707 East. Toronto's $1.30, totals 8. Kevin Gausman for the Blue Jays, Cade Horton for Chicago. And both staffs going in, both staffs are going up some very formidable lineups. Lots of bats on both sides. Chicago's a top 3 run-scoring team. Toronto's a top 3 run-scoring team in their own building. Bo Bichette leads the Blue Jays and runs batted in. Dalton Varsho, OPS in the 900s. Of course, Toronto games went 7-3 to the over in their last 10. Of course, out of their last 10 contests against the Cubs, the over cashed in 60% of those meetings. Meanwhile, on the other side of things for Chicago, it's Seiya Suzuki who leads the roster in homers and ribbies. Matt Bush, 65 RBI, OPS of 846. I like the over 8 runs. Braves Mets, 7:10 Eastern start. New York's the $2 favorite, totals 9. David Peterson for New York, Carlos Carrasco for Atlanta. Now, Carrasco's got just 2 wins on the year, and Atlanta struggled against these New York arms. The Braves averaged just 7.4 hits a game in their last 10 meetings with New York. And they're facing a Mets team who's been tough to hit against in Flushing, Queens. They're giving up just 7.6 hits a game in their own ballpark. Of course, when it comes to the total, Atlanta with plenty of unders in their divisional games. They actually went 64% to the under against NL East opponents. I like the Mets minus 1.5, under 9. Red Sox, Astros, 7:10 Eastern start. Houston's minus $1.75, totals 8. Hunter Brown for the Astros, Walker Buehler for Boston. And even though Buehler's given up his fair share of runs, he has recorded 7 wins on the year and currently has a winning record. Of course, as a team, the Bo Sox did get the W in 6 out of their last 10. And they're now a top 5 run-producing team, doing a very nice job at the plate. Trevor Story, club leader in RBI. Alex Bregman, OPS of 933. They're facing a Houston squad who has not hit all that great in their own building. They're in the bottom 5 in walks per game at home, bottom 10 in runs per contest on their own diamond. And out of their last 10 head-to-head meetings with Boston, they've really struggled with Red Sox pitching. They've averaged just 3.9 runs a game during that time frame. 3 out of the Astros' last 10 ball games did get over the total. Boston games went 9-1 to the over in their last 10. I like the Red Sox plus 1.5 over 8. Dodgers, Angels, 938 East. LA's minus 210. Totals 9.5. Shohei Ohtani for the Dodgers. Kyle Hendricks for the Angels. Now, Hendricks is just 6-8 on the year. Not getting a ton of run support from the bats. They're currently striking out more times a game than any other lineup. Bottom 5 in hits per contest. And they're facing a Dodger team who's been tough to hit against on the road. In the top 5 in fewest runs allowed in their travels. And Shohei Ohtani toes the slab here today, this evening. 2.37 ERA, 1.11 whip. Of course, the Dodgers saw 65% of their interleague road games stay under the total. I like the Dodgers minus 1.5, under 9.5 runs. And with that, folks, we're going to jump into our next and final breakdown for the video. Rays Athletics, 10:05 Eastern first pitch. Tampa Bay's minus 130, totals 9.5. Drew Rasmussen for the Rays, JT Ginn for the Athletics. Ginn with just 2 wins on this season. It's actually a 2-4 record coming into today's matchup. Of course, as a team, the A's have had a tough time getting the W at Sutter Health Park. They have a .406 win percentage in Sacramento. And out of their last 10 ball games against Tampa Bay, they were held to just 3.8 runs a game. And we could see more of that today. The Rays limit opposing sluggers to just 7.5 hits a game on the road. And starting pitcher Drew Rasmussen, well, he's just 1 win shy of double digits. It's a 9-5 record, ERA of 2.66. Of course, no real surprise. The righty's got a whip of just 1 flat. 6 out of these teams' last 10 ball games stayed under the total, respectively. I like Tampa Bay minus 130, under 9.5. And with that, folks, now it's time for our quick pick recap. I like the Tigers minus 130, over 8.5. Brewers minus 1.5, under 8. I'm 6-0 in my last 6 extra daily picks on my premium page. Nationals plus 1.5, under 9. Cardinals minus 1.5, under 9 runs. Diamondbacks plus $1.20, under 9. Giants plus 1.5, under 8.5 runs. Phillies minus 135, under 9. Mariners minus 145, over 8. Marlins plus 105, under 8 runs. Yankees minus 130, under 9. I like the over 8 in that Cubs-Blue Jays matchup. Mets minus 1.5, under 9 runs. Red Sox plus 1.5, over 8. Dodgers minus 1.5, under 9.5. Give me the Rays minus 130, under 9.5 runs. And for that, folks, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on my premium page. And if you do end up getting a membership here today on my premium page, just a friendly reminder, you're going to get access to that membership every single day for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, you're also going to get access to all of my cheaper memberships during that time frame, absolutely free. You're going to be included with your membership. That's why I always tell folks that Gold Club package, it's a full access, all-inclusive membership. Gives you access to every single premium selection of mine, every single package, every single day for the next 30 days. But most importantly, folks, gotta thank you for joining me right here on the free video. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. With that said, folks, happy Wednesday to you. Happy hump day to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my premium page.